I'm gonna wash my car with acid. I'm using some products I've never used before today. This one in particular, P&S Crystal Wash Acid? Let me explain. I saw Jamie the cleaner use it, and I've never heard about this product before. It's an interesting one. So I put it in an electric sprayer like this. And our vehicle is pretty gross. Now this stuff is not dilutable. You spray it on straight. But what it's doing is breaking the bonds of any of the contaminants on your vehicle. This is an old-fashioned way of deconning your vehicle before we had those iron decon chemicals. You spray it on and you let it dry. Now I may have put a little bit too much on here, but we're gonna let this crystallize and hopefully we can catch this on camera. Now we do have a little bit of direct sunlight here, but it's not extreme temperatures. It's not so hot out that I'm worried about it staining the paint or anything like that. But if you are in hot temperatures, don't spray this on a hot vehicle and not in direct sunlight. This does need to be applied in the shade or on a cool panel. Now it's very difficult to see any type of crystallizing. Back here, however, I can see a little bit of crystallizing. It looks like it iced over. So I definitely see it working here. So once again, what the chemical is doing is breaking the bonds of any contamination on the paint, making it easier to rinse away. But I definitely see a little bit of crystallizing here and on the plastic down here as well. So we can definitely see a line of demarcation here, how it blasted off the grime, working from the bottom up, and you can see that it blasted off all that junk. This just needs to be rinsed off. So you can definitely see the crystallization here on the glass. And I know it's in direct sunlight, but again, the vehicle is not hot. We're okay here, but just use caution. It works very well as a pre-wash or an APC rinse. So we're just left with a light film that needs to be removed with a contact wash. Once again, it cleans exceptionally well as an APC rinse or pre-wash. Now I do have a sealant on here, and as you can see, it didn't break the bonds of the sealant. That's still beading and sheeting really well. Now my hood is wrapped in optical PPF. I did that a couple of weeks ago with my friend Tony from Miranda Details. Came out incredibly well. The entire hood wrapped all the way up to the edges and wrapped underneath. And I want to see how well this stuff does. And I just have a very simple, quick detailer on here right now. But this hood looks brand new after I wrapped it. So I'm going to spray down this entire side with the Crystal Wash, let it dry, let it crystallize, and rinse it off. Don't over apply it. Just a light mist is all it needs. Now this can also be used on ceramic coated vehicles and actually used as a maintenance pre-wash as well. We are using a weak organic acid. That's what P&S calls it. So it is low on the pH scale. Do we have to be concerned about that? Like I explained before about using it in direct sunlight on hot vehicles. Yes, we do have some partial direct sunlight here, but it's cool out, so it's not a problem. But once again, read the directions. use caution because this product works great as a pre-wash and it does some really interesting things to the grime on the paint without having to use strong alkaline or strong acidic cleaners. This is balanced just right for exactly what we're doing here. So it's an interesting product. If you want to try it for yourself, I'll have links down below. Now, can this be used on wheels and tires and wheel wells? Yeah, it can, but I mean, you can use it as a pre-wash on the wheels, but I'm really more concerned about the paint. The wheels are going to be cleaned with stronger chemicals anyway, so I'm really not that concerned about using this on wheels. And be careful around plastic trim as well. And that's where the caution lies, using it on a vehicle in direct sunlight in the heat. On plastics, bare plastics like the textured black plastic, that could cause some issues and some staining. Just like with any detailing products, test them, see how they work before you start using them on a regular basis. That's why I'm using it on my vehicle. But we have been taught to not let products dry on the paint. So what's the deal with allowing a product like this to dry in the paint? It's formulated that way. It's supposed to work like that. That's what the directions say. And it's allowing time for the product to do its work, to crystallize and to break bonds on the paint. So it's formulated to do that. Don't be afraid. If you're not willing to try a product like that, I get it. I understand, because we've been taught not to let products like that dry on the paint. Once again, the cautions on the product itself tells you specific things. Not to use it on a hot vehicle or in direct sunlight. It's a cool day. There's nothing hot here, even though we are in direct sunlight. It's partial sunlight. And to avoid plastic trim and things like that. Now, I'm using it on my plastic floorboards here and on the back, and I'm kind of testing it just to kind of see what it does. So far, it's not causing any issues. That doesn't mean that it won't for other vehicles and other types of plastic or rubber trim. So use caution. Strictly use this on the paint alone, and it seemed to be okay on glass, but once again, just use caution. So it is really hard to see any type of crystallizing here in the paint, but you can kind of see what it does here. Again, it looks like little ice crystals, little snowflakes that have settled on the vehicle. So the paint is cleaned and looking incredible. And that stuff does break the bonds of dirt and grime on your paint, salts and minerals. That's what that stuff is designed to do. You don't have to use it on your entire vehicle. Use it on all the bottom portions. You don't have to use it every time either. Use it maybe once a month on your vehicle. Now, this product is not the type of product to use on a regular basis. You don't need to use it on a regular basis. Use it when your vehicle needs it. So usually after a storm down here, when you have salt and grime on the road, after all of that junk that's put onto the roads, you want to rinse all that off. And you even saw me using the undercarriage washer to make sure all the under parts of the vehicle are also rinsed. You could use that stuff on the under part of your vehicle, but you really don't need to. Just rinsing the bottom of your vehicle alone is beneficial. Now, for those who live in areas where you really do get a lot of snow and ice and rain and that salt slurry is used on the road, you may need to use it bi-weekly. Analyze what your vehicle needs and use it when you need to use it. The glass looks perfect. There's no staining or anything. The paint also looks great. The chrome looks great. And even the plastics. No harm done to the plastics either. So test it on a portion of your vehicle. The best place to start, I would say, is like back in the corner like this. This gets the most grime and junk on your vehicle. So test that product out, mist it on, don't drench the paint with it because this is not a dilutable product. You will use it quickly if you just douse it on. So if you've used this product before, let me know down below what you think. How have you used it on your vehicle or your customer's vehicle? And let me know if the product works for you.